Yeah, no, that's fine. And then we'll just go. So, buddy, I guess whenever you're ready to kick us off there, my friend.
Whenever we're ready. Okay,
Yeah.
good.
You ready? I'm ready. You ready?
Welcome to episode 8 of Three Dudes Brews. Three Dudes Brews is our liquid journey into our various perspectives and appreciations of the various craft brew styles here in New England and beyond. And also a celebration of the good people that bring it to us. My name is Buddy Thayer. I'm happy to welcome you all to join us on this epic adventure down Bear River. Joining me on this beautiful voyage, the Greekiest man I know. I like to call him sometimes the Froto of the Froth, Costas Sangaruli.
How's everybody doing? And to my left, we have Dr. Ed Patinaud. Right.
Ah,
The good doctor's in the house.
Good doctor's in the house. Remember, folks, always listen to your doctor. So we are here with John at Angle Tree in North Attleborough. So, John, before we kick off things, I want to say first thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you
you
for
guys
having us. And why don't we tell everybody where exactly you guys are at so they all know how to get here.
Yeah, so we're at 45 Elm Street, North Attleborough, basically downtown North Attleborough.
Nice. So, all you Rhode Islanders, cross the border. It's not far.
It's 10 minutes.
We're a mile and a half from the border, so basically.
Yeah, you can do it.
Route 1, right off of Route 1.
It's
Just
not
follow
bad.
Route 1. You can't miss it.
Yeah, we believe in you. You can do it.
So, today, folks, my service dog Alice is with us. So I apologize if you see me kind of looking around. It's she's trying to get settled, and I think she's good now. She's kind of curled up next to Buddy.
I think she needs a beer.
So don't get her
doesn't?
started on that. I can't afford another beer drinker. So, like I said, so this is a great spot you guys got here. Everybody, you'll see some photos of the place. I have to ask one question right off the bat. Why Angle Tree?
So Angle Tree is a local landmark. It goes back to the 1600s. It's the second oldest boundary marker in the U.S. It is about a mile from here on the North Attleborough and Plainville line.
Okay.
And in the 1600s, it was the boundary marker for the Plymouth and Mass Bay colonies. Back then,
1640, I believe.
Yeah.
1640.
Yep.
Yeah.
So now it's the Angle Tree stone because in the 1700s the tree itself fell down. There's whether it was an elm or oak or pine, but back then the boundaries for the states would go straight to the Pacific Ocean.
Mm-hmm.
So it would the boundary came from the Pacific Ocean to the Angle Tree and angled up to a pond in Plymouth. So that boundary line of even the current counties in Mass are still defined by that.
Nice.
Yeah.
So it's an OG site marker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Dude,
Yeah.
honestly, being a dork of history, I found that fun fact about you guys last night when I was reading on your website. I also found when I was here last week, like there's old pictures in the back of Attleborough,
Yep.
which I took time to appreciate, of course, because I love shit like that. But is that like, are you? Is it about the history? Is it about the past, the local connections? What's that about?
Mainly local connections. We wanted to be a place for everyone, which is why I suggested a beer hall style tap room, and my
Yes.
partners at the time were very okay with that. Yeah, we wanted it to be very community focused. We do a ton of fundraisers for any charity that basically reaches out. We'll donate the space, if not do a kickback. So we're
Nice.
very, very community focused. Try to be inclusive. I know there's a little debate about families and kids at breweries. We're very family friendly right now.
Yeah, it's a hot topic
And
sometimes.
I always
indeed.
describe it to my staff as indoor recess, not outdoor recess. It is, they should be seen, they can be heard, they shouldn't be heard across the tap room.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
agree.
Do you have hours where kids are allowed, or they're here? They can come in at any time.
anytime. I would say that the vast majority of families we get, over 80% are probably Sunday afternoons.
Yeah.
We do get some on Fridays and Saturdays. Very few Friday and Saturday nights, which is, I know, the prime time where a lot of breweries are now shifting to adult onlys.
Yeah.
And we do have a 3-strike you're out rule.
Okay.
Speak to you, get a warning, speak to you again. Another warning, if I have to say it again, you guys will be asked to leave.
I mean,
And
that's
that
only
goes
fair.
for,
That's fair.
and that
I'd
goes
say
for
that's fair.
anyone,
Yeah,
frankly.
that's fair.
Yeah, it's
You
only
know,
fair. I
yeah.
mean, because that's just it. I mean, the last thing I want to do is be sitting here enjoying a pint, and then next thing you know, I've got, little Timmy running up and down bumping me, hitting me.
Right. And you just got
know,
a block to the forehead.
doing something.
Right.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
like, that's not okay. But the fact they're in the building, I also, people have a problem with the fact they're in the building. I don't think that's also okay. It's
Right.
like
No.
the 12 kids that are sitting there fine, you wouldn't even know they're here.
Yeah.
For example, service dog, you never know she's here. And then the one kid's ruining it for everyone. It's like, it's
Yeah.
totally fine.
Right.
Yeah.
We've had families where their parents come in, you can tell, they got 2 preemies and a carrier. They want
I've
to get
been
the
there.
fuck out of the house
Yeah.
and have a beer.
Yeah.
Right.
They come in for one and they're gone.
Right.
It's like,
So
You,
funny.
you have a brewery, not a daycare.
Yeah.
right, exactly. Yeah, you're responsible for your kid. We're not.
So when my wife and I were living in New Jersey still, we had a local brewery called the Village Idiot we used to go to all the time. So next thing you know, my wife gets pregnant. We're having twins. We have our oldest daughter, and then so the twins are born. Family comes down. They're like, "Hey, I want to go check out that brewery." So here we are with a stroller, with the twin babies parked next to the table,
Right.
enjoying beers. So I mean, all they did was sleep. I mean, what are you gonna
Yeah.
do? But no, I mean, it becomes a safety hazard too. I mean, somebody spills a drink, there's
Totally.
some beer on the floor or
Yep.
something.
That's
Next
why
thing
I
you
just, indoor recess, coloring, blocks,
they're
whatever
gone.
at the table, not football across the tap room.
So
Right.
when did you guys open up?
So 2022, we started the build out in 2021. I told my wife I wanted to do a brewery in 2020, and she wanted to murder me. Prime COVID, I actually started the Johnson & Wales craft beer program.
Okay.
The semester before COVID happened.
Yeah.
And then second semester, second class, it goes first class in person, second class. So there's things going on. We might have to go remote. It was like, okay, how do we do a tasting class remotely?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Did it, and finished during all that fun. So we've had our 2-year in August.
That's great.
Nice.
Yeah.
How'd you get into before that? Was you just a love for it?
So, I mean, in college, I always drink better than you go to a party.
Yeah, right.
Everyone's drinking Bud Light. I always bring
Bring your own.
Killian.
Yeah.
Yeah, 6-pack of Killian, get drunk on that, and then switch to the stuff I didn't care I was drinking. Did a little craft brew, home brewing after college, and then I got actually really sick. Bunch of surgeries, so I wanted to do something I liked and enjoyed. So that's when I started the craft beer program at Johnson & Wales, connected with my partner at this point, it was like, let's see if we can make it work, and we did.
Yeah, you guys definitely make it work.
No.
That's for sure.
You said partners at the time.
Yes. So we originally opened with 3. I have 1 partner now.
Okay.
So partnerships are hard.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's whenever you get more than one person involved. I mean, now
Yes.
it becomes a game. Well, I want this, I want that.
Right.
You got to compromise.
And-
it's like a marriage. So
Right, and as simple as I think we should be doing this, or I want to post this stuff. I'm like, right, but to me that's going to cause this. It's always
True.
yeah.
So
Partnerships are fun.
Yeah, they're fun. So you guys noticed we've started tasting here. So cheers, guys.
Cheers,
I mean,
guys.
that's all I can say.
John, one thing I notice about your beers, dude, that probably separates you from. I mean, we go to a lot of breweries. I go to a lot of breweries. I have a lot of beer. I'm an IPA guy. One thing that sticks out for me, like huge, that these 2 beers right here, right? Well, I think I know what they are. They're both IPAs, yeah.
Yep.
And they're clear as like a pilsner. That is like absolutely. That absolutely fascinates me. How it's not. Is it filtered? Is it like?
Nope. It's just. That's,
How do you get it so clear?
It's just that damn good.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, dude.
Yeah, we it's hard because I mean, talking to some other brewers, they always. One of the ones when I was talking to when I was first opening up, it was I felt like a sellout because I'm making IPAs, and it's like, dude, that's what sells. That's what lets you.
It's a business.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
what
it's a
that's what you
business.
make, so you can make the other crap that you want to make.
Exactly.
I love
And
that.
everyone asks like, "What's your best seller?" I'm like, "It's a seasonal or it's an IPA, no exception." Maybe very briefly, it'll be something we just released, but over the whole month, it's a seasonal or it's an IPA. Like we had a Winter Warmer November, December. December, the winter warmer was double the next beer. You know, it's like, other than that, it's probably Jeffrey because that's the one that's on the most. But it's always an IPA.
You know,
if it's not a seasonal.
And they've got great names.
Yeah.
I love the names.
Yeah.
But they don't like present as your typical IPA. They're
we
not
get-
cloudy. They're not thick. They're not that extra pininess that Costas doesn't like.
This one's a little sweet.
They're not made with Citra, are they? Are they made with?
So I don't. They're not my recipes, so I don't know off the top of my head. But yes,
Well,
Citra isn't the only. There's several
you're
hops
right.
in there.
Usually Citra is very stand-out.
Yeah,
And
it's
you either
not,
love it or you hate it.
Yeah, and it's not just like it's one of many. If it is in, I believe it is in both of those.
It's very balanced. It's very
Each of them, I think, have at least the Jeffrey has a traditional hops that isn't in most New Englands.
honestly, both of these guys couldn't tell the difference between your IPA and a Miller Lite the other night. So
Oh,
in appearance,
That's
Oh,
based,
that
that's
was
based
only-
on appearance.
just
Appearance
appearance.
only.
We didn't
through a
taste
computer
them.
screen, obviously.
Yeah.
But I
Did
mean,
not taste them, folks. I
Yeah,
think
from,
we would be
from
able
10
to.
miles away in
Yeah.
Johnson. Yeah, we can,
Exactly.
yeah.
You know, so and that's. You know.
still couldn't tell the difference.
But you know what though? You're the first person
You're
that
not
we've
wrong.
talked to.
They're clear.
Yeah.
They're-
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Yeah, if you-
And
if-
it's something we
you're-
were worried about at first, and we do get comments from people. Well, I asked for a New England. It's like, what are you looking for?
Taste
like
it.
the citrus. It's there.
They just want the
they
taste.
happen. Yeah. They just happen to be clear, and so we've switched it from NEPI to New England style. Like try to distinguish it a little because it's like, and everyone there's 140 styles of beer. And everyone's take on those beers,
It's
and
gonna be a
that's
little different,
and
yeah.
I think that's where craft beer is running into an issue. Everyone's making the New England because that's what people want. I'm like, no, make your New England,
Yeah.
make your porter, make your brown ale.
Right.
Like,
You know, back in the day.
everyone asks for. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
Everyone asks, you know, oh, you're threatened by our closest brewery is Ravenous. I'm like, no, they're fantastic guys. They make some fantastic beers. They could make our exact lineup, and it would be very different.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
You know, and that's what you should be going for.
different brewers, different there's so many variables
Yeah.
to the brewing process that even the slightest change
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
will change things.
Well, we've had some where it's like crap that didn't come out even remotely close to. Like I'm drinking our dark IPA. It was supposed to be a black IPA that came out brown. My brewer was very upset. They're like, dude, it's delicious. Who cares?
That's you know.
I'm like, we need to do it again. Like
But-
that came out perfect. Like
Yeah.
let's do that again.
Yeah.
So
We
you
had
said
a-
you have one other business partner, and
Yeah.
these are not your recipes, but
No, some of them are. The good grief in this is mine. Probably around a third of what's on is mine.
so you guys have like a balance of.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those like, do you have a recipe? No. Do you want to come up with one? Yeah, that's a style I'm into. Like, let me see. I have an idea for that one. Try to keep it interesting.
Your partner have the same education as you do with beer? Does he?
So he was a craft brewer in the 90s. He opened, he worked for Portsmouth Brewing. And then, you guys know Cottrell
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Connecticut?
Yeah.
He literally built all of their equipment and was their head brewer for a while. Got out of it for a long time and wanted to do his own thing.
Nice.
Couldn't get it off the ground. His name's Mike LeBaron. He tried for years, and then our third partner I had met in the Johnson & Wales craft beer program. He lived in North Attleborough also. Knew Mike, brought him in to consult a little bit, and then he got involved that way. So he's more of the physical production end of brewing. He has a lot of experience that end.
Yeah.
More of like so I have a lab background, which is why I like brewing. I like the science of brewing. So I'm more on that end. Like, oh shit, did you see this cool ass thing about thiol? If you put the pre-thiol compounds into the mash and then it like that just geeks me out like so much.
Right.
So
I want to go back to one thing I was starting to bring up is the fact that we talked to other folks, and you're the first one who's actually said the words out loud that I'm making the IPA so I can make. what I
totally.
want. You were the first one who's
I-
admitted it. I think. I
Oh.
don't think anybody else we've talked to who's said.
I
it.
personally have 0 IPA recipes. Like my homebrew
Yep.
catalog, no IPA recipes because when I was homebrewing, it was, well, there's a lot of delicious ones out there. Why am I going to waste time on making beer that's essentially what I can already get? And that's not my preferred style. I like hazies, and I actually prefer pale ales over IPAs strictly. So like, yeah, I mean that's what sells. That's what people come in for, and that's right now what people get excited about. But like, I think it is shifting slightly. It's still number one, but like the lighter stuff, unique stuff, seasonal stuff, definitely picking up more.
Well, I mean, that, you know, and you could tell just by going to the liquor store, and we've all talked about this,
Right.
that you go to the liquor store and you're looking, you know, there's a local craft brewery that's got their stuff through distribution, it's on the shelf, and it's IPA.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Right.
One, I appreciate the fact that it means I've got to go to you to get something different.
Right.
I love that. But let's say I don't have the time, and you got a beer that I love, and now I can't get it. and
Correct. So it's
you
tough
know,
because like also the distributors only want IPAs typically, or something very unique like our creme brulee cream ale.
Which is fantastic.
Yeah,
It is.
It
We've
tastes
had
like
that
cream
one.
soda.
Yeah,
It's I don't like cream soda, so it's not my jam.
Oh, man, it's good though.
But it
Well,
is
for
what
us anyway.
it's what people come in for, and that's also the other thing. Like, there's a bunch of beers. Like, yeah, it's not my thing, but maybe it's your thing. So
Yeah.
I'll brew it. Like,
Yeah.
I brewed a sour for my wife. That I was like, I don't really like sours. It's my go-to now whenever I don't know what to drink. You know, so we'll get requests from distributors for the creme brulee beer and IPAs. It's like, dude, like you don't know what you're missing. Like, if I can
Yeah.
suggest this, I'm like, all right, and it's tough because it's like we want our beer out, so
You gotta play
of
the
course-
game.
Yeah, and it's like they're trying to get what's gonna catch someone's eye, and if that's number one, like I mean, we make IPAs. Obviously, because I mean, my partner loves IPAs. I like IPAs. Our brewer loves IPAs. Like, they're the beer right now, and it's like get you in the door, get you to have one IPA, then maybe you try three or
Yes.
four others.
Yes.
You know, you get the weird random stuff. You know, something crazy like, I'll give that a shot. I'll go in, and then you have three of the thing you've already had 12
Right.
times.
You get your flight. You get
Yeah.
your IPA on there, then you get your cream ale, then
Yep.
you get your porter
Yep.
and your stout, and
Yep, and that first unusual beer got you in the door because you're like,
Right.
oh, that sounds interesting, or damn, that sounds good.
No, your stout is it's an oatmeal cookie, right? That's the
That one is just an oatmeal.
oatmeal.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
guys try any other variations like coffee? Even the dessert stouts, so the higher end imperial stouts is any?
haven't quite been asking for a friend.
Yeah.
Buddy's looking for a little more heat.
So haven't quite made it there. Like we like to have we cover the spectrum: light, IPA, bitter, sweet, dark. You know, so our go-to dark is the porter. Been trying several different darks, but so we made a caramelized honey stout last spring.
Oh,
Oh, it's fantastic.
Ooh,
I gave it like
this guy.
I gave it like a nutty,
Mark,
like
why didn't you tell me?
it was fantastic.
Oh.
We call it unbelievable.
That sounds.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good
that
name, too.
sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it came out really good. I did that for St. Patty's last year.
Nice.
And they move, but they're slow movers, so it's hard to keep more than a couple on.
Yeah,
Like
right.
right now we have 3, I think, and that's probably heavy for us.
What
and
about,
that's-
what about the cask? You were talking about casks earlier. You do
So
something with that, right?
we didn't. The guild did a cask
that's
event a month ago, sometime in January, and they did the Firkins with a bunch of different breweries. So I don't know how many, but the head brewer Andrew said that our Good Grief in the Firkin was one of the best beers at the event. I'm like,
Okay.
I'll take it. Like that's one of my beers, so I appreciate that.
Nice. Yeah, St. Patrick's Day is definitely coming around. So we were that's the other thing we were talking about is that so we have another show that we do every other Thursday, the last call. It's just us, just
Live.
it's the show and live. It's the show about everything and nothing at the same time.
There you go.
But we were
Sure.
talking about the fact that like Guinness, I like a good pint of Guinness.
Yeah.
But I never buy it.
Right.
Unless it's St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, I got
You
that.
know, it's like what the hell? You know, I don't get it.
It's the same way you're only having corned beef and cabbage on St. Patrick's.
Absolutely.
You're only having
No,
turkey on
no.
Turkey on
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving, all right.
I think it's a good default. Like, I think Sam has kind of gotten in that category where it's like you have the light lagers, and then you have Guinness. And if that's the default for most bars, like, I can drink a Guinness if I have, if that's the only other option. But I think Sam's also getting in that category. And I think that's a great thing where, you know, they're bringing beer up. I don't know if they're necessarily craft anymore. They're just so
I know, they're
massive,
so big now. Exactly.
that, you know, it's like, okay, if they're now the standard, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, there's still space. There's so much space for us.
Sure.
So.
For me, Guinness, I mean, it's traditional, I guess. It's what everybody wants to do on St. Paddy's Day, to pretend that they're Irish or want to be Irish.
Yeah.
I'm Irish. I prefer different stouts. I mean, it's like
Reds.
yeah, right. It's more
That
of
is
a
my
like
go-to
it's
stout.
more of a
That's the first
McDonald's
fan
of
of Reds.
McDonald's of stouts for me. I don't know. It just seems like just like run of the mill. I don't know. What do you think?
I can see that. I think, like I said, I think it's a great standard. Like,
Yeah,
Of
sure.
of what's out there, and even saying that, like, I don't mind a Bud Light. You know, they have their spot. They're
Yeah.
the shower beer. They're the I just mowed the lawn beer. They're the I'm mowing the lawn beer.
Middle lagers, maybe.
You know, like we have a light lager, LIT light lager on, and it's like, yeah, this is fine. Like it's 4%.
Yeah.
I'll
Day
drink a bunch
drinking.
of, and then
Yes.
just drink one after.
Go on the boat and drink like
Yeah.
12 of them in a day and still be able to function afterwards.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
Sure.
They have
So-
their spot. It's just not all year.
Buddy, you guys would have laughed at this one. So, I was in Ireland, coming
Oh.
back from the desert after where we could not drink for like 6 months.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
that's horrible.
Dry country.
That sounds
so-
horrible.
So we're coming back. We're in Ireland, and our internal clocks are like all sorts of screwed up. Plus, you're in an airport, so airport time doesn't matter anyway.
There's no.
Right.
You know, so next thing you know,
Airport beers.
airport beers, exactly. The owner, bartender, whatever he was at the time, sees us all coming, and he's like, "I'm opening early." So next thing you know, he gets everything ready. Everybody's, so we all go up, and everybody's like two-fisted Guinness. Oh, Guinness.
Yeah.
Everybody's got a Guinness, and all of a sudden I hear the bartender, in his thick Irish brogue, is like, "Who in the hell ordered a Miller?" It's my buddy next to me.
Not in Ireland.
I'm like hanging my head. I'm like, dude.
Even my wife liked Guinness in Ireland. So like,
So so next thing you know, my buddy like reluctantly raises his head and he's like, "Oh, here you go, Mendez," and hands him the Miller, and we're like, "God damn it, what are you doing?" We're like, "When are you coming back to Ireland?"
Right?
You know, it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And this guy orders a Miller. So I mean,
You got to say that you would think that the Guinness is probably a whole lot better in Ireland than it is here in the States.
it's completely.
I don't know. I didn't find much of a difference.
You
But
didn't
then
think
again,
so?
Then again, I didn't have a side-by-side comparison. You know, we were
Yeah.
on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean.
In a vacuum,
you know.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
if somebody gave me two side-by-side pours, it'd probably be a difference. I mean, the water is different there. You know,
Yeah.
the air temp, everything is different.
part of it's probably
So-
mental too, though. You know, I'm
possibly.
sure.
so that's. There's going to the Johnson Bell's Craft Beer program. When you do tasting, you actually just take notes. You don't talk about it until everyone's done. Because the second you suggest something, now that's
Oh, yeah.
in your head,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, I totally taste the chocolate in that.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing.
And-
It's all coffee. You know,
Yeah.
it is. You know those little cards for wine. They do that, so you get home and you're like, oh, I totally taste that blackberry.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, like nope. Like
I-
Sure
I've
didn't.
bet-
so
I've been-
those cards are one of the best pushers of
Yeah.
wine.
We've been to
It's fantastic. The suggestion is incredible.
many different breweries, and on occasion people will say, "Oh yeah, it's got notes of this or notes of that," and I'm tasting it, and I'm like,
And they got their heads up and their pinky out at the same time. What they're
Right,
saying,
right.
You know,
So,
yeah.
that's fair. So when I describe how to do a tasting, I'm like, be as pretentious as you can be. It is this, and also, tasting thresholds are different, right?
Right.
Like I feel like I'm super taster for diacetyl. Second, I don't like Czech pills. Like everyone's like, how do you not like Czech pills? I'm like, it's fucking disgusting. It's
That's me with
drink,
saisons.
drinking butter. Like I'm good. So
I love a Czech
like
pill.
same way for me. and
second, like you're like, oh, I taste. You know, this is the most delicious beer I've ever had. I'm like, seriously, all I taste is butter, and you know, it's totally valid. Like, but the second I say I taste butter, maybe now you taste butter.
Right.
Like, oh
Right.
yeah.
Power suggestion.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, it's funny. I love a Czech Pilsner.
yeah. Nope, I'm good.
So
Our
we-
brewer was like, can we do one? I'm like, if you have to.
If you have to. So, you know, we say it all the time too, you know, and I keep saying, the phrase. Sorry, guys. But there's a beer for everyone.
Oh, totally.
Not everybody's gonna like every beer, but there's gonna be something for you.
So that's one of the biggest things. I mean, what is there? 140 styles of beer.
Something like that. It's
So
ridiculous.
I tell people that all the time because we get events, we get bridal showers, and it's like we have a seltzer. So like, if you really don't like beer, there's at least something. We typically have a cider on, like a malted cider. But I'm like, whether you like beer or not, there's so many styles and so many takes on those styles. There's something that you like, you just don't know it.
Yeah.
Same thing. I'm an equal opportunity drinker. Like, I drink almost everything.
So, like I said, the only style so far that I definitely do not like is a saison.
Oh, really?
I
Saison's
can't.
not
There's
bad.
something about it. I don't know what it is, but I'm sorry. I've tried many of them, and every time I try one, I'm thinking, well, maybe I'll like this one. Nope, sure don't.
No.
Still don't like it.
They're not bad. Even like I'm a big IPA guy, but like even like a Belgian white or even like a triple. Is that what they call them? The triple, the old the
triple,
monks that
triple,
make them.
whatever.
It's different, but they're very different than an IPA. They're very different than a heavy stout, but
Yeah.
But
I think I'm more on that end. The Belgian
Palatable.
stuff, the French stuff, the saisons. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that's stuff cool. Ton of home brewing, and I got into cider, and I do like wild fermentation, and I've got some stuff that's
These
like
guys.
incredibly clean, and it's like, how is that wild? And some stuff like that is the funkiest thing I've
Funkiest
ever
thing,
tasted.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I got a buddy who's like, he loves delirium, and again, nope, sorry.
Yeah, and
it's-
there's styles for everyone.
It's just it. It's one of those things.
That's why we started with 8 and very quickly went to 18.
Oh, that's fantastic. That was going to be our next question. So, how many beers do you have on tap right now?
18.
18.
18 taps.
Wow,
I
18
think
taps,
we're
okay.
down to 16 right now. We have a seltzer.
Not bad.
Sometimes we'll have a cider, but we try to cover as much range as possible. Because in the summer, someone wants a dark beer. In the winter, someone wants a light beer.
That
I will
never
say, like,
fails.
we have so many events that
A little something for everyone.
yeah, really try to give a place for everyone. Like, that's what we're going for. That's what you got to provide. So.
And I think you guys are doing a great job at it.
Thank
Oh,
absolutely.
this is so good.
Fantastic.
This beer here on the end, I'm not going to say what I think it is, but I notice it has like a cinnamony,
Aluminum?
like aluminum aftertaste almost. It's quite delightful.
This, I haven't gotten to the last one yet. Buddy's
Right there.
As always,
Like
folks.
big red in
Buddy's-
the back. Oh,
Buddy's
Buddy's
just
always
about
way ahead.
done.
He's just really.
Buddy's got a beer for afterwards too.
Right.
Buddy's got a beer to wash his beer down.
Yeah, right.
So.
It's a man of culture.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right.
I mean, of
It's all about
course.
culture.
So. What's your favorite style to drink?
The maltier end. My
Same.
first style I homebrewed was red. I tend to do I'm a very seasonal beer guy.
Yeah.
Like we had the Winter Warmer, that was my favorite. Right now, I thought my brewer was going to be doing a wit. I'm like, I can't wait for that. Like,
Yeah.
I default to the malty stuff when I don't know.
Yeah.
If there's like and also with this now, I'm like, all right, market research, right? You go somewhere. I'm like, all right, I haven't had that. You get those out of the way, and then I can try the stuff I want to, or
Yeah.
So
Right.
Yeah, that's usually, I think a lot of us do that. We go someplace and, okay, well, I've had, those. Let's try something else, and then
Yes.
maybe I'll go back to what I know. So that's, guys, it's like we say this, I said it again, try and expand your palate. Try something new, get out of your comfort zone. You're not going to like everything, but you don't know until you've tasted it.
no, there's been plenty of stuff. Like there are
So-
Czech pills I've had that I like. I'm like, oh,
Right.
all right, sweet. I'll have another one.
Yeah, but normally you're not going to.
Typically, that style, I'm like,
Yeah, you're going to see it on the menu. You're going to be like, oh, I'm going to stay away from that.
Yeah.
Well,
You
I
know?
think that's why Flight is great because
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
have
you
the
can
ability
try
to
a
try
little bit of
4
everything.
different beers all at the same time, and you don't have to get a full pour of each.
I actually really like Imperials and Russian Imperials and Baltics and stuff. I get them on a flight because
Right.
I'm like, by halfway through the
One-
flight, I'm like,
yeah,
all right,
done.
that was delicious, but I'm already done.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
And then
sure.
it kills me because when you find them in places, it's either in the bomber or the 16-ounce thing. It's like,
Yeah.
can we just get a little 8-ounce
Right,
can?
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
So-
Like,
I came in to have
I'll pay a little more
good
'cause I don't
time,
wanna
not
pop
to,
it.
to get totally intoxicated and stagger out of the door.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
it's
I want to remember what I tasted.
Yeah.
You know,
A couple weeks ago, I came in. I told you I came in here, and Mike was behind the bar. It was a Thursday night, and I got like 3 flights, and I tried all your beers, and I figured out which one I liked the most. I think it was this one in particular, the Good Grief, that I got a full pour of. It's good to be able to sample a little bit of everything. You have a very wide variety, wide spectrum of beer tastes and styles to dip my toes into a little bit of everything and see what
Now,
one fits the
kids,
most, you know?
Buddy's a professional.
Don't try this at home, guys.
Do not try this at home, okay? He's a professional. I mean, only Buddy is going into a place and just like, I'm going to order, 3, 4 flights, and then I'm going to order another,
But he's kind of a big guy, Just it has
So-
But he's
my
gonna
body
try every
absorbs
beer,
the
so that way he
alcohol,
knows
I guess
which
you
one
could
he
say.
wants to
My
try.
natural
Absolutely, yeah.
flowers.
Continue.
Yeah. So, I think
And there's nothing wrong with it.
No. So I was going to ask you what your least favorite style is, but I think we kind of hit on that already. Is there one that you just like more than a Czech Pils?
Probably not.
Probably
it's
not.
The diacetyl kills me. If it's a clean, because that's one of those styles. It's like, oh, diacetyl is fine, or minimal diacetyl is fine.
Yeah.
Right. Like, yeah, no. If it's clean, yeah. Oh, that's
What
delicious.
exactly is diacetyl?
So
So
it's literally the
people don't
butter compound they put on popcorn. It tastes buttery. So if you ever go to a brewery,
Genuine artificial butter flavor.
yes. So it is. If you ever go to a brewery and a beer tastes buttery, so there's a off compound from yeast that is called diacetyl, and there's something called a diacetyl rest in beer. So you bring the beer back up to slightly below room temperature, something, and then the yeast will actually remetabolize that and get rid of it. So it happens a lot in lagers because there's nothing to hide it, and it's purely a yeast product, So it is understandable in some and acceptable in some styles, where other styles it's like that's an off flavor, and to a certain level it's an off flavor in all styles, right? So it is literally the compound they put on movie theater butter on popcorn.
Let me add, while we're talking about pilsners, and you mentioned
Hey,
lagers,
we're going to talk about popcorn.
and popcorn, popcorn.
Popcorn.
That could be
That's
a
an
thing.
idea.
That could be a thing.
That's an idea.
One thing that's always it's kind of like popped around in my mind a little bit. Seeing that you're a craft beer guy, I'll ask you, what's the difference between a pilsner and a lager?
That's a trick question.
It is. Lager is a general category of beer, where you have ales and lagers, and a pilsner is a very specific style.
Can you give an example of both? Big box. So-
Big box, so you're talking lagers, you're talking Modelo, you're talking all pilsners, you're talking all American light lagers.
Like
whereas
Bud Heavy, Bud Light?
Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah,
a lager.
lagers. Yeah.
And you're talking a pilsner, you're talking.
German,
No
Italian.
light, no light to Pilsner, right?
Technically, it's an American pils. All of American beer is some version of a German beer, so it's all Mexican beer. Difference is with pilsners, it's all grains, which Reinheitsgebot is all about taxes. The church controlled hops in 16, 17, 1800s.
That's how the law came about?
That's how the law came about, because you had to use hops in it. So the church controlled the hops, which
course
means they
they
got
did.
the money.
course
All
they
about taxes, nothing about purity.
Money and beer.
The more you know.
Yes.
Little
So
science, right? Little science, little
yeah,
history.
yeah.
I love this obscure history. Go on.
Right. I'll continue. So all American lagers are pilsners with adjuncts, right? Like so you American lagers you get rice and you got corn depending, and then all Mexican lagers you get corn exclusively. Like I made I think it kicked. We have it in cans. A Juan's Mexican lager. It's a pilsner with a ton of corn in it. Like that's it.
Which
That's
is
it,
really good.
Yeah. Thank you.
I had that sweetness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
I think so.
So it's really just, it's all variations on the same thing, and I love it because it's like we did a Kolsch and it ended up being like a double Kolsch, like an 8% Kolsch.
What's a Kolsch? No, what's a Kolsch?
So it is
I've had them, but
almost
I
a
mean-
lager.
Yeah.
So it's an ale yeast fermented at like the high end of lager temperature.
Now, some of them are done like cold water, right? Is that a thing? Cold water lager, or is it cold lager? What?
So the cold IPA.
Yeah.
So that's on that
So it's
feel
IPA,
of
okay.
end of things where it's like an ale yeast just on the really cold side or the hot side of lager.
They're bordering the temp to still
Yeah.
be technically called
Yes.
an ale or a lager.
Correct.
Ales are what, brewed warm, right? And are a top fermentation where a lager is cold. And it
Yeah,
is a
that
high
line is getting a
fermentation.
little more blurred with some of like the newer stuff like.
I don't understand any
But,
of
yeah.
the science part of it. I just
So this
I
is
know how to
something
drink it.
I geek out
that's
on.
where, yeah.
Which is important. I appreciate it.
Seriously.
At the end of the day, as long as you drink it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a science geek, so
Yeah.
that's what got me into home
Yep.
brewing was the science behind everything and the infinite variables and random outcomes and possibilities of it all.
Yeah, and
You know?
tweak one little thing and
Right.
it changes the beer completely.
Oh yeah.
You go from
Sometimes not for the better.
1 degree up or 1 degree down, and it can change everything.
Yep.
You throw
Yep.
in something sooner rather than later, and it just totally.
Oh
changes
shit! I
everything.
forgot to throw it in. I throw it in now, and it's like, oh, it's Whirlpool, and it's like, oh shit! Now Whirlpool gives you way more aroma and flavor as opposed
Right.
to,
Yeah.
you know.
So there's an infinite random number of possibilities
Absolutely, yeah.
and variables in
Yeah.
all of it. So it's just fascinating that these little bits of yeast or whatever and grains or hops or sugars or whatever can just create this magic in a glass.
Yeah.
So
Amazing
Our home brewer, our head brewer, he's like, I don't make beer, I make sugar. He's like, I made sugar for the yeast, and the yeast make the beer.
I
I'm
let
like,
them
"Oh,
do the
sweet."
rest.
Yep.
Good nature.
So,
Amazing.
kind of piggybacking off of that, have you guys had any happy accidents where all of a sudden you think something is completely ruined?
So I will say the double Kolsch was one of those things like, holy shit, you wanted to make a Kolsch and it's 8%. Like,
I still
and
can't get over that.
It was delicious. I am pushing for the end of like, yes, it was a mistake, but it's
A happy
awesome.
mistake.
That's what we
Yeah,
need to
it was a
brew.
great mistake.
So we have Sprockets, which was what it originally, it's a traditional Kolsch, and that's what it was supposed to be. But I'm like, okay, we need to bring back the double Kolsch because one, no one has that. Two, it was
Right.
fantastic, and three, you didn't taste the alcohol. It was so clean, it was dangerous.
It's the best part. That's the best part.
Well, that's just it. We've had
Bob Ross of brewing.
Yeah,
Few
we've-
little accidents.
Yeah.
we've had many of an 8%er where you're like, this doesn't drink like an 8%,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna get in trouble tonight.
Yep.
Yeah.
Those are the
I
fight
gotta
beers.
get switch before I get in trouble.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I've had 14%. I feel like I'm eating candy rather than
Yeah.
drinking like,
Yeah.
oh my god, 15% alcohol
see-
by volume. Oh.
And usually though, something like that, buddy, to me at least anyway, I think they're so heavy though that I'm not drinking more than one of those.
Right. Oh, it was like drinking brownie batter. To be
Yeah,
honest with you,
I mean, it's-
delicious.
Very, very thick, very heavy, very.
Delightful.
I'm not saying bad. I'm just saying that
But
I'm
you
not.
can't have more than one.
I'm not having another pour.
I had a growler at Thanksgiving dinner, after Thanksgiving dinner, and I was like sleeping by like dessert.
Oh, I bet. I bet.
Yep.
Yeah, it puts you right to sleep.
Oh, it was
You know.
delicious.
So did you say that beer was named Sprockets?
Sprockets, yeah.
So now's the time on Sprockets when you dance.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. So I love that skit. That was an old SNL thing.
Yep.
Back when it was still good. Because I haven't watched SNL in forever.
50 years this year, guys. Cheers to SNL.
Holy
That's,
crap.
50 years.
50 years. They're doing like this week. It's the celebration.
Damn.
Wow.
All the SNL greats.
I go back every now and then. I'll watch like the old
Adam
ones
Sandler,
with,
dude.
John Belushi was still
Oh, yeah,
there.
even John
Gilda
Belushi.
Radner, all that. And,
Chevy Chase.
yeah, back in the beginning when
I like the-
not ready for prime time players.
I like they do those news broadcasts and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
I'll see that on
Those are
Instagram or
hilarious.
something, and it's like, God, they don't leave any, and nothing is off the
Oh,
table
no,
on
no,
those
not at
things.
all.
It's like,
Do
that's
you guys
fantastic.
have any plans to do any kind of like limited releases? I know that's kind of a thing that's been popular the last several years.
Like
is doing
bottles and stuff.
barrel aged
So we do-
collaborations, limited releases. Of
Yeah.
course, if it's in a if it's in a black glass bottle, and there's some wax on the cap or the cork or whatever,
Right.
then it's got to be magic in the bottle, right?
Dark
Right,
bottle.
right,
You
right.
get
Better
to
be
char-
magic in the
it
bottle.
better be
Yeah,
better
whatever
be
you're paying
magic
for
when
it,
you're
yeah.
charging, between $20 and $30 for a bottle, right?
So nothing that extensive. We're fairly limited. So right now, our philosophy is we'll do a beer if it's popular and we bring it back, then that gets canned.
Okay.
Other than that, we're not doing too much in like the packaging. We started out with a ton of barrel stuff because there was a distillery in North Attleborough. They moved to Pawtucket, and they weren't producing in-house for a little bit. So we now actually have a barrel sitting over there, just waiting for something that will work in it. We've tried a bunch of different stuff. Traditional stuff, the dark stuff in it. Porter, throw some cocoa nibs, like that stuff.
Yeah.
And then we had, I think it mezcal if it's not produced in Mexico.
Yeah, it's mezcal. Yeah.
So we had a mezcal barrel.
Wow.
No, agave. We had an agave barrel, and we did our blonde in it with some lemon rind, lime rinds to
That
give it
sounds
like
delicious.
that. So called it like a south of the border blonde.
Just the
Yeah, that's
You know.
amazing.
Drinking problem.
It seems to be me lately. I don't know what it is.
So all the barrel stuff, yeah, we're trying to keep it. Like to do more of that, and that's something my partner Mike is great with, is the barrel stuff. But we just got that like beginning of the year, so we haven't brewed anything that obviously beginning of the year
Can't wait
slower.
to see what you guys do with that.
Yeah. So I think it's a bourbon / whiskey. I'm not sure which, but that end of things. So we'll see. Probably something darker and let it sit for a few months and then
Full
do a couple.
flavor, probably a little high octane on that.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see how that turns out.
So, talking about the cans, get a little serious for a moment. We're not going to bring politics into this at all, but the tariffs on steel and aluminum.
Correct.
25%.
Correct. And the majority of aluminum for cans comes directly from Canada.
Canada. Yeah.
So the Brewers Association, I want to say, sent out an email saying that, obviously, like, both of those will be affecting craft beer because, I mean, kegs are kegs. Once you have it, it's a physical asset. It doesn't really have a problem occasionally. The cans, that's probably going to be a problem.
That's,
Shit, huh?
Because 25%.
25%.
I don't know if is Canada the 25%
Yeah.
or if it. Okay.
Yeah, they're
So,
part of it.
yeah.
And I think that takes place in March. It's supposed to start,
Yes.
I believe.
So that could be a significant increase for craft beer because the majority of that does come directly from Canada.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that has affected us, but I mean, there's like Brews Association. I know I'm aware of it. I'm sure most craft beer breweries are cognizant of it because it will be a increase. I mean, I will say each can individually isn't that much of the price of the beer, but I mean, it's still a cost to us in reducing.
Right, when you're purchasing 1,000 cans.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It went from
An extra 10 cents a can.
right.
That's-
Absolutely.
that's
Yep.
out of your pocket.
Yeah.
You know?
And
You either have to
that
eat
adds
that-
up enough that
Right.
then that prices then have to go up.
Right. You either have to eat the cost
Right.
of the additional cost of the can to keep your prices where they are.
Right.
Yeah.
And
We had this discussion this week
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
and distribution is already, well, we're selling it to the distributor for half price, and then they're selling it to
Yeah.
the store for half of that, and then the store is then selling it for, and it's like,
Okay.
Stupid amount of money.
yeah. And it's like, okay, so I mean, going to help craft breweries buy at the brewery because that's where we make. I mean,
Yeah.
cans to go are already reduced from the tap prices, but when we sell it to distributor, and it's
You
like,
guys are losing money
yeah,
there.
yeah, and obviously they fill a role of getting our beer out.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. It's a necessary evil, unfortunately.
Yes.
Are,
You know?
Right,
are you guys
sure.
in stores? Are you
Yes,
in
so
restaurants or in the area?
we had a
or-
distributor. It seems like they're not in business anymore.
Oh.
So we're looking for a new distributor. We have someone we're talking to. And we also do self-distribute, but Rhode Island is different.
Yeah.
We can't
Thanks,
self-distribute.
Rhode Island.
Rhode Island's a little.
We've been
Yeah.
little
It's
fast.
like a
Talking
little-
about that
Thanks,
law.
little buddy.
Yeah. They are lobbying to change that.
Yes, that would be fantastic
They
because
really
I know
need to.
many Rhode Island breweries don't distribute simply because of that.
In Rhode Island Brews, you can only get like a case of beer and walk out, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a limit to how much you can
in
use.
mass, like
You're
I've
supposed to buy it at a
been
time.
in a treehouse. You guys are walking out with dollies of like
Yep.
probably like $5,000 worth of beer. It's
Yep.
incredible differences.
I
So
think
two-
Rhode
two
Island is
cases?
just 2 cases.
Oh, 2 cases.
No, I meant for
Yeah, right.
treehouse. But yeah, it's one of those like, and because we're so close to the border, it kind of cuts off half our market.
Yeah.
Like we should be distributing in Rhode Island, but it's we have to go through the distributor.
Another reason to get out there, folks. Come on out here.
Look
Okay.
at breweries, guys. It's a good
Because-
scene here.
Yep.
That's just it. There's going to be a lot of them over here on this side of the border. You're not going to find.
Yeah, it's 10-15 minutes over the border. It's
I mean-
it's not that far of a drive, guys.
Guys,
Our
Just
closest brewery is another Rhode Island brewery.
Right.
So
It's
Which
not
is
that
hilarious.
far.
yeah. So after that, it's Attleborough Brewery, Skyrock.
Skyrock,
And
yep.
then I would say 67. They've been placed in Rentham, so you could do, start in Rhode Island and then cross the border and hit 3 others fairly quick.
Make a little trail.
Another like great reason to come in. I mean, it's a great environment. They have a lot of great beers on tap. During the month of March, this is one of the participating breweries in the Mark Ambrose Bingo. You can find Mark Ambrose here.
Absolutely.
Probably at least twice a month, and get
Oh,
a selfie
yeah.
with Mark here and stamp your marker on your bingo cards, and work your way towards that 50-50 prize. So
There we go.
Yeah. So, we all remember way back when we had our first sip of beer. What was your first beer?
I mean, I think there's a picture of me with a bottle as a baby, but
That's awesome parenting.
we start them young in Irish families. But I think my first real one was probably a Corona with lime. My aunt was like, "Do you want some?" I'm like, "Okay." So, not exactly the yes. I mean, there's an assload of lime in that thing. Looking at what she does now, it's like a full lime in each bottle.
right,
Full
I
lime.
can't much
I
flavor
get
you can
it.
add.
Salt the rim on top of it.
My first choice is probably there's a red somewhere, and that's why I started drinking Killian's in college.
I was going to say Killian's.
Yeah,
Killian's
that was
red.
the
That was my first
that was
red.
my default. Like I don't know what to get, so I got a 6-pack of Killian's.
Yeah.
Would you qualify that as your first craft beer?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I would
Killian's was actually to the point where I was buying it so much I emailed. I was like, "Thank you for making a great beer" or something to that effect, and they sent me a couple pint glasses and a sweatshirt.
Nice.
And I was like, "Hey, awesome."
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. So, we're talking about import beers. What's your favorite import?
Favorite import? Jeez. You know what? Start that. I have.
Oh,
it's gonna
buddy.
take a while.
No. You go. No. Wait. Give me a minute.
Seriously? Okay, I'll kick it off. Old Speckled Hen.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's one of my favorite imports. The next one after that would probably be Red Horse, but it's not the same here as it is overseas.
I was gonna say, brand in Europe or abroad, or
That's
just
tough. There's so many beers.
Wherever.
So Newcastle would probably be my
Newcastle?
Yeah,
That's what-
but I don't know if it's technically brewed over there anymore.
Yeah, I don't know if it is.
I don't know.
I love
But
Newcastle.
it started over there,
Yeah,
so
it did, yeah.
we'll go with that.
So I
All
get you guys. So in Canada, not in the States, because it's made its way into the States.
here
It's
it
just not
comes.
the same Molson Triple X all day.
I
Guys.
knew he was going Molson.
I went to Canada with a friend when we were like 18. We bought I think we bought like a 12-pack of Molson Triple X up there, and we were hammered by the end. We were in a motel room. We were safe. We weren't driving anyway. But yeah, it's just a different story in a different country.
I think the beer culture is we have one of our bartenders. He's been going to Vermont lately. He's like, it's fantastic. You got beer culture. I'm like, right. We don't have beer culture here. Like,
No,
you
because we
get-
stigmatize all alcohol
Right.
in the U.S.
Well, I going back to the kids thing, I think that's one of the problems with kids in the brewery is because people are like, well, I don't want to drink with kids around. I'm like, why?
Right.
Are you coming in to get hammered? Because I don't want you here. If
Yeah.
that's what you're here for.
Yeah.
I want you here for several beers, to be social and have a good time.
Yep.
Right.
You know, like if you want to get destroyed, everyone knows those places you can
Yeah.
go to get destroyed. Like start here, have a good time, have some beers,
Yeah.
leave before you're
Yeah,
shitty.
go
Go to the
somewhere else if you
base.
need to.
Yep.
Go on to the next
Yeah.
one.
Right.
Yeah,
Whereas New Hampshire, it's like or Vermont, it's like you go and like there's families, you're hanging out, you get some food, like that's your afternoon. Like that's what we want here. And I try to explain that to my staff, where it's like you need to like explain beers. You need to explain that like, yeah, that's the kind of environment we want. We don't want like just the afternoon drinker who just wants to get as shitty as possible. Because like first flag to me is like people walking in like, what's the highest ABV? I'm like, okay.
Unless your
That guy
buddy.
right there.
Don't look at me. Don't look at me like that. It's all
your
about flavor, guys. It's
There
not
we
about
go.
double the alcohol, but double the flavor.
It just happens to work out that way.
It
I know,
does.
I know.
I'm a
But
flavorful kind of guy, guys.
it's it's one of those things though where you go to other countries and overseas and everybody outside of the U.S. here, it seems like underage drinking is not a problem.
'Cause there's no
Binge drinking is not a problem when they do come of age if they're old enough to reach the bar, and it's because they're raised around it. It's not
you want a sip?
stigmatized.
Have a sip.
Exactly.
When I went to the old country and I was a kid and my cousin cracks open a beer and I freaked out because
Oh my god.
15, 16
Yeah,
years
what are you
old and they're
doing?
cracking open a Meatos and I'm like, what are you doing? We're gonna get beat for this. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I don't want to die.
Yeah.
You know, and it was just like,
Yep.
what is your problem, dude?
Right.
You know, again, my cousin was, was probably 14, 15, 16, and I might have been like 10 years old, and I'm like,
Yeah.
if they find out, I'm gonna get in trouble. And it was just like, they're just cracking open.
Next thing you know, the adults are coming around going, "Why aren't you having any? What's wrong with you?"
Right.
Yeah, like, where's his? I'm like,
Absolutely. I think that's something that's
No,
a
like-
big problem in the U.S. where it's like,
Yeah,
you're
you
only
gotta-
exposed until you get to college. Maybe
Well-
in high school if you're sneaky enough.
Not that long ago, for us older folks, right? There were blue laws. You couldn't buy stuff.
Oh, right.
I remember that
places,
Sundays,
You couldn't,
Rhode
Sundays
Island.
you couldn't buy alcohol. Like
Running
you couldn't,
into-
like,
We had to come up with the mask.
stores.
We had to come up with the mask. The,
Yeah.
the
couldn't-
Shell gas station on Route 1 over near
Yeah.
the movie theaters. I used to go there.
Yeah, you couldn't. It's the culture I think has changed.
Well, now we still got limited hours on Sundays.
Well, yeah, you got
But
limited.
at
There's
least they're
so
open.
many limitations, and when you tell somebody that they can't do something, immediately,
Right.
that's what they
And-
want to
right.
do.
Exactly.
You know, like little kids. Oh, you can't do something? Okay.
Oh, well, why can't
Now,
it's
why
got to be
can't I do
really
it?
good if I can?
Now you're my curiosity makes me want
Yep.
to do it. So now I'm going to be forced to do it. Like in European countries, some of them don't have drinking ages,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying that they don't have.
It's common sense, though.
right.
That's what they
It's-
use.
I'm not saying
An 8-year-old goes into a bar trying to
Use
get a beer.
common
Like they're
sense.
like, what the hell is your problem?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, you're in with your
And-
parents at 13. You're like, yeah, like,
Right.
you know, you can't
Yeah.
get the 15% thing, but
Right.
like,
But it's like, okay, so it's not a big deal. So if you don't make it a big deal, it's not a big deal, and there's no
Exactly.
desire to do it.
Right.
Underage drinking, we all did it. We should.
In
so-
great detail.
did it.
Yeah, some of us more than others.
Some,
Yeah,
some
yeah.
more than others.
That's-
And,
I'm running into that with the town. They're very difficult on certain things to get through. Like we're trying to do a beer garden at farmers market on Wednesday nights, and like, well, there's families there, and
And
Families
we're
there.
very family friendly here. There's families here.
Right.
Like, do I want a 6-year-old walking across the thing with a beer? No.
No.
Like, well, are you going to be carting? I'm like, yes, of course I'm going to be carting. I'm going to do the exact same thing I do here
Are you gonna
because I don't want to get sued.
Right.
Like,
exactly.
the liability.
yeah,
Yeah.
like it's going to be the exact same thing just over there where people can, well, I didn't really want to go, but I'll go grab a beer while you guys look at the farmer's market. We'll go get dinner after. Great.
Yep.
Maybe that means they then go to the farmer's market. Bring people downtown, bring a better sense of community to the town because they're more involved in stuff going on. So it's been an uphill battle. I actually had to speak in front of the town council. I just talked to our town manager, and I got called into an economic and development subcommittee for
This sounds
just
like the Attleborough version or North Attleborough version of Footloose.
Yeah.
it was like
no beer,
basically
no
they
dancing.
implied I'd be overserving
Was it
and
like a
serving
dance?
children.
choreographed
And I'm like,
dance
it's
at the end, or
beer, guys.
Now
Like,
you're
if you don't
defending
want me to
yourself.
bring the 9%, like I won't. I'll bring the
Bring the 9%.
but it was one of those like, holy crap. There's actually a couple Sun Chronicle articles about it,
Okay.
and some community members reached out to Sun Chronicle and voiced
The good old sun.
Yep.
All right, so we got a new segment, a little thing we're gonna do here. It's mail time.
Mail time.
It's mail time, folks. So I got a couple things here from viewers and followers and some questions. So we got a few. So the first one, Billy A out of Braintree. What do you love about your job?
It's a great question.
Nothing? You don't love anything about your job?
That's why he drinks.
Oh, you.
Oh wait, I thought you were talking. There's a B, so I thought it was funny.
No, you.
So what I love about my second job.
Yes.
So your
That's
first
good.
job
This
is
is his second job.
Yes. So currently, I have a full-time job and I do this on the side. Obviously, the hope is that this becomes the full-time job. But I guess my favorite thing is I get to brew what I want. Like it is, I'm into that style. We're brewing this style.
Nice.
Like it is. We were talking about styles. We do a monthly staff meeting. We're talking about styles. I'm like, I want to do a wit, and my brewer's like, yeah, we do a wit. Now he's like jazzed about a wit. I'm like, sweet, awesome,
Perfect.
let's do that.
All right, so next one we've got is from Steve R. in Providence. When will we see your beers in stores?
That's a tough one. Rhode Island is tough because we have to go through a distributor, and one of the biggest distributors right now, they're merging. So obviously, love to get into Rhode Island because we're so damn close.
Are you available in Massachusetts?
Yes, limitedly in Mass.
In where?
Surrounding towns.
Okay.
I'm
Say
not-
like Yankee Spirits, perhaps.
the smaller stuff, Yankee Spirits, they like to go through these bigger distributors.
Okay.
Because they want to deal with one.
Yeah, I got you.
So
Yeah.
they want a bunch of beer through one distributor.
guy.
We're in the smaller stuff.
Okay.
If we're, I know we're over in Seekonk.
Okay.
Drawing a blank on the name.
So
Kind of a mid-sized one over there. Nothing Yankee Spirit size, but a good-sized one. I'm gonna draw a blank on it.
Maybe guest bars.
No. Sorry, guys.
That's all right.
We'll figure it
So,
out.
All right, so last one is from Will H. out of Cumberland. I love turtles.
so do I.
I love turtles.
I mean, the ninja
good
variety,
point, yeah,
especially.
I mean,
Right.
what else can you say other than
Leonardo was my favorite growing up. So.
hell yeah? Look at
Yeah.
the two swords. I mean,
Hell yeah.
all right, so I love turtles. All right, so
Turtlehead.
it's time to do our tallying and see.
Oh, let's do this now. Let's get
Let's
this
see,
out of the way, guys.
how
I'm
we all
ready to
scored, and we'll wrap things up here.
judge the cock here.
Yep. So
Can I come up with 4 aces yet
we're
again?
going to
No,
check the
you
results.
cannot.
So Costas is currently the top cock,
Oh,
and
alright.
we're going to try and dethrone him, and we'll see how this goes. All right. So,
Guys, here it is.
all right. So, John, what was the first one?
First one was Jeffrey.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh,
Nope.
Yeah, buddy.
Got that wrong, and I got
Going
that
down,
wrong.
Fingerooly.
All right. So the next one,
Salinas.
I flip-flopped
buddy.
those two.
So did I.
All right.
Oh,
So we're
clearly.
still the running here. So
the
number
run.
3.
Oh,
Is
buddy,
the porter?
buddy.
3's the quarter. I got that
shit.
right. Which means
got
good
that.
grief.
Okay,
Good
I thought I
grief
had
is
that
number
one.
4.
Son of
All
a
right.
bitch.
Good grief.
So,
is number
I got
4.
2.
You got
We
2.
all have 2.
I got 2. You got 2.
Oh, you guys suck.
You guys
All right,
can
you
share
guys
the
want to
cock.
battle out, and
So-
I'll battle out the winner? Oh, no,
Alice-
me and Ed would battle it out.
We're
And then
gonna
you're
have to
the-
battle it out
Yeah,
first.
you two have to battle
All
it
right,
out.
I'm going to go over here.
So, folks, you know, if you've been watching the show, that if there's a tie, we settle this in the age-old samurai tradition of rock, paper, scissors. Alice, I know you heard Buddy's loud, boisterous voice, and you got up again, huh? Okay, over here.
It's all right, Alice. I'm going
Alice.
to beat up your dad real quick.
Come here, Cookie. Come on.
And I'm going to beat up Costas.
There you go, down. All right, you ready?
Best out of 3.
Best out of 3.
1, 2, 3, shoot. 1, 2, 3, shoot. 1, 2, 3, shoot.
Oh, okay.
The next one.
Please do not knock over the.
I'm right here.
No. You're good there.
Go,
You're
you
good
can see
there.
me all right?
Don't go
You see me
any,
all right?
don't go any further.
Ready?
Best of 3. Here we go.
Alice.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Shoot. Yeah, buddy.
Oh!
Oh, give me the cock!
Yeah.
We have a
It's
dethroned.
mine! It's all
Give me a hand flip on the table.
I can't. So, we have dethroned the Greek, and this is Buddy's first top
First
cock.
win.
First
So,
time.
first time-
It's special for everyone.
First time for the top cock. I mean, everybody remembers well, I don't, but Buddy will never forget the first time he got the cock.
He,
If you guys like rock paper scissors, we're having a rock paper scissors tournament for Team Domination. It's a Parkinson's fundraiser.
Nice.
I want to say in March, but I have to double check the
so
date.
I couldn't help but notice that you have the Leo Strong in
Alice.
the window. Can you
Yes.
tell us all about that?
You're in good hands now. You're in good hands.
So
right,
Leo was
Calm down there, Tiger.
Right here, down.
North Attleborough resident who was diagnosed with Ewing sarcoma.
Okay.
I want to say 4 or 5 years ago. I'm not sure the time frame. Ended up losing his leg to it. A couple of years ago, he it developed in his shoulder again, and under treatment for the last couple of years, he ended up passing away just before Christmas this year. When he was first diagnosed, middle schooler.
Oh, God.
I want to say a freshman.
Oh my
Wow.
God, that's
I'm
horrible.
not
Yeah.
positive.
Oh.
We did several fundraisers for him,
Yeah.
for his family, because obviously with that level of treatment, his parents need to take a lot of time off.
Oh my God, I bet.
Not that I'm trying to put a
So-
dark.
No, but that's kind of one of those things. We actually did we rebranded one of our beers, actually the red ale, to be number 9 Stronger because he played
Oh,
football and his name he was number 9.
Nice.
And
Yeah.
all profits for a month from that beer went to
That's
the
awesome.
family.
That's awesome.
Giving
That's
back to
really
the
good.
community.
Yeah,
Yeah.
trying as much as possible. That one I will say was a little tough to. That was our first time doing anything like that, so I was like, everyone's gonna come in and drink only that.
Yeah.
We're gonna make zero money. But it ended up they got a very large check from us, and it was awesome to give back.
Right. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
But people
So-
will remember that you did that,
Yeah.
and they'll come back.
Yeah.
Right. It brings people in the door.
Right.
And
That's obviously part of it, but that's like we get to be use our resources for the community, and that's what we want.
You know, and that's we've done a couple fundraisers ourselves, and it's just we're not looking to get anything out of it other
Yeah,
than
we
just
don't
giving
make any
giving
money
back.
off of this. We're
Yeah,
not-
the same thing with like the Mark Amber's bingo. We're not getting anything out of
Not
that,
a
guys.
dime. Mark's not getting a dime.
Neither is Mark.
The winner is going to split the 50-50 charity with the Ronald McDonald House of Providence. It's a tremendous organization down by Rhode Island, Hasbro Children's Hospital, helping families, helping kids. It's
Yeah,
We
That's
did.
what we do.
Growing up, I did their they do a 5K every year.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or they still do it. We did it several times growing up. It's an awesome event.
nice.
But yeah, we get all the time because most places charge for the space, even for fundraisers. We don't. I don't understand why these organizations who are trying to raise money are getting charged, and I understand it to a point where, like, yeah, you design our space, but to me, you're bringing in customers.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Right.
that's if you bring in a massive crowd, awesome. You use my entire space, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're getting money via beer sales.
Yeah.
And those are some of our best nights. We have a veterans event.
Nice.
We have New Englanders for helping our veterans.
Nice.
Yes,
coming
I
up,
know that one, yep.
End of the month.
Yep.
It's to help veterans with everyday expenses.
And you said that was when?
End of the month.
End of the month.
The 22nd, I want to say.
Nice.
Always our biggest night of the year. Just unbelievable night.
Yeah.
So,
bet.
and we don't charge them anything. The band, Toby Road, plays for
Nice.
free. Just trying to push everything towards helping veterans.
Thanks for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
Appreciate
All right.
that.
Well, we've gone a little over today, but that's okay. Good
That's all right.
conversation, great beer, and
I'm
a
looking
great
forward to
space.
having another one, honestly. I mean,
So, yeah,
not
that's
just
just
one
it.
night
It's
at a
Man is
bar
first.
and-
We got to wrap it up. He's
So,
thirsty.
folks, make sure
I
you
need
get
a
out
beer.
here. Angle
Buddy's
Tree,
thirsty.
North
He needs a beer.
Attleborough. Come
Do
say
you
hi
need
to
a beer?
John.
Appreciate it, guys.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Appreciate you
Pleasure.
guys.
Thank you, John. Awesome
So much
time,
for your
man. Awesome
time.
beers.
So, for Three Dudes Brews,
Yeah, that's it, cause that's it. That's cause somebody there. We're out. Thanks
He's
for tuning in,
top dog.
guys.
thanks, folks.
Thank you, guys.
Remember, drink local.
Cheers.
Cheers.